the first English, the school-educated shudra in India. Who was that? The first school-educated shudra, not Dalit, I'm talking. Shudra, like Jats or Patels or Maratha. In the entire Indian history, the first school, proper, systemic, educated Shudra was Mahatma Jyotirao Phule. And the first educated woman of all castes, not just one caste, including Brahmins, it was Savitribai Phule, educated by her own husband. You know, after the marriage, he did not live with her to procreate children. And he said, till she becomes 18, I will teach her. She was 9 when she was married. And for that, he was thrown out of the house. His father also did not accept. Why are you teaching a girl? What is this teaching girl? So poor Tilak's people came and thrown them out and all kinds of problems. They had to go and live in a Dalit untouchable Wada where they started their own school also. A revolution began there. Now, what I found while reading about Shudras, because this is a very critical area in North India now. Jats are Shudras, Patels are Shudras, and Marathas are Shudras. Then you have Mahishas or Shudras, Kurmis are Shudras. But when I found them, when I tried to locate them in JNU as top professors or Delhi University or any other private universities, Ashoka, Amethi, I never found them anywhere. They have lands, they have tractors, they have agriculture, and maybe because of land prices, they may have some cars now. But I have not found them highly English educated at all. Now there was a reference to the violence against Dalits by the Shudras. Now that happens because of this lack of education, modernity of the Shudra agrarian community. They have some land, but they are not intellectual, they are not globally exposed, and they have no English education. Now, when I try to look at the Shudra kings, when we got independence, you all know that, how many of you are social science students here? Yeah, quite a lot? Yeah, political science, economics, and so on. You know, when we got independence, there were 520 or so princely states. And when I looked at the caste background of these princely kings, 300 were Shudras. Small kingdoms, Mysore kingdom for example, was a Shudra, and Baroda, and Shahumaras, several others. And some of them were very popular. Of course, the richest king of India at that time was Hyderabad Nizam, not these people. He was the richest of the world man. But when I found that whether the Shudra kings sent their, leave alone daughters, sons to England to study, like Gandhi or Nehru or even Gokhale went and studied, they were all middle class Brahmins. Or Gandhi was a son of a small prime minister in Kathiawar state, right? But the Baniya community was not known for globally traveling and educating themselves. So these people went and studied in England for law and came back, and Constituent Assembly is full of them. And out of 300 kings, nobody's son went to England. They have money. They did not send to England, make them lawyers, make them any thinkers. And the only greatest philosopher of that period and PhD of that period was a Dalit. Nobody was a PhD except Lohia later. They all studied law. But that PhD in economics was considered to be useless. And non-PhDs were great intellectuals. Now that is a caste law. All of them passed third class law. Ambedkar passed economics in class 1, first class. You read John Dewey's record. PhD, double PhD, again law. For our fortunate thing, he also did law, otherwise there would not have been this constitution. Ambedkar. We don't know what kind of constitution they would have written. Maybe they would have said that God gave us a constitution that last night. And that would have come in the form of Manu's constitution. This is God gave, let India accept it. But Ambedkar. So, then I thought whether any king has written anything. If you look at Europe, kings wrote. Even Muslim kings wrote. You know that Akbar Nama, no? And Babur himself wrote his autobiography. Yeah? So, but Shudra kings wrote nothing. 300 people, they did not write about their greatness, they did not write anything. Nor they sent their children to English education. They were not supposed to study Sanskrit also. Even though they were kings, their children were not eligible to study Sanskrit. Now, when I was researching about the Shudras, why this fate in 21st century? In North India, around Delhi, there were thousands of lakhs of Jats. There are no intellectuals. There are Patels who are all over the world doing business, but there are no great intellectuals. And why this happening? Then I found only Sahu Maharaj wrote a record, very good record, as a letter to former governor of Bombay State. And that is the letter I brought here. I'll read a portion of it. What a kind of ruler he was, and whose life he wanted to improve. He wrote this letter. Fortunately, nobody reproduced that. The Forward Press reproduced that entire letter. You can see in Google, that letter is available. Now,